how I planned. Day here at the ranch. Those of you who've been around for a bit might just know what that is. It's not usually here. It's also a touch darker under there. That's right, more mezzanine work. Doing a little rearranging. Can you believe it? It's actually here. And if you don't know what that is, you'll find out later. So here is where we sit on the mezzanine. We are 7 joists in so far. Get myself down here. When we left off last week, we got our main beams in place, and now we're gonna slam the floor in. We got a few of the joists in place so far. The first set ledges on that stub wall that we built last week, and now the rest of them are gonna be hangered in right on the ledger board that we just put up. Is that what we call that? On a deck, it's a ledger. On a mezzanine, either way, it's up there. It's holding some joists. And by the end of this video, I think we will finally be on some solid ground up top, including the fancy little 45-degree angle. Maybe even by the end, we'll figure out how we're going to walk our way up to that, where the stairs are gonna go. But before that, we need to mark out where each of the joists is gonna go. We're doing 16-inch on center, and then I went ahead, you might be able to see it, be light right there, marked out where the bottom of the joist hanger is going to sit height-wise on the beams on each side. That way we can just hang the speed square up top, mark it out, and we'll go bang, 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 get all the hangers in place, and then hammer our joist in. Not sure if that is the correct order of operations to do this, but in my head, that's the way it seems to work. As you all know, my way is not always the right way. Well, that's great. Down we go. And we're back. So there is what I just marked out along all the beams. And that'll give us where we need to mount the joist hanger. We line it all up and hammer this guy home. We just need to do that 32 more times. Precision fit. Some people are just out lounging around while I'm in there slaving away. Rough life. I'm gonna venture to guess that this is not the correct construction practice. So all I'm doing there is keeping this beam where it needs to be. I just don't want to inadvertently push out this beam when I'm putting the joist in. So those 2 straps are gonna keep me in check, which is necessary because, as Sasha knows, I'm a little bit of a wild card sometimes. Just going through a pile of these things. A few more to go. Smell me through the camera. I'm not used to swinging the hammer this many times. This is kind of work. All right, we have one straight one left to go there, but I have the strap in front of that. We're gonna move to the next one, and that one's at a 45-degree angle, so as always, Joe made it more complicated than it needed to be. But we got these little straps for this side. Now I just need to chop that one at hopefully the correct length. It's time to get another blade. Getting a little dull. We're burning through. But I can't complain, that guy has done quite a workout. Same blade for the whole building. And then quite a bit before that. Well, let's see if this fits. right, what I'm gonna do is throw a screw in that'll be behind this plate to hold it into place. Then we'll nail this guy. I think that's the best way to go about this. That's the two-handed hammer technique. I'm getting tired. All right, so these last ones on this little 45 jet out are a little more interesting to lay out. All I did is take a square. This one happens to be 16 inches out here, but it doesn't have to be. And we lined it up on the joist next to the one we're laying out. The tip of that lines up to where the longer edge of the board will be. And then if we set this on the inside of the edge and make it meet up, we have the location of the shorter edge of the board. Then all I did was run a tape measure from this mark to this board. Now we have our board to the correct length. Then I just double check the measurement to be sure. Hazardous work area. Just not tall enough. It was a touch too dark to show last night, but we had the Eco put in some work and we picked up the subfloor. We went with 3/4 inch tongue and groove OSB, which should do the trick, especially since we're just on 16-inch centers. More than sturdy enough. Like I said, sturdy. We got the site supervisor testing out the strength as well. Gonna hold? I gotta hold. Sasha's kind of taking over the wood pile. Bothered by nothing. I should have gone through that, not tall enough. Exactly how I planned. Every piece we add keeps stiffening it up. Now what I'm gonna do is, on this next row, we're gonna cut one of the sheets short. So we got a joint here. I'm gonna stagger the joint so on the back side it is there. That should stiffen and level up the floor quite a bit more if the joints on the sheets are in different locations. It's a little easier for the glue now that I've got a platform to stand on. We do get a little different perspective on the place up here. It's just weird how the feel changes every time I do something. Better make sure I don't step off as I'm talking to you guys. That would be great. At least it'd be on film. Digital version of film, an SD card. But now we have two pieces left. These are gonna take some math, but they should roughly be about the same size piece. So all we need to do is measure out how far out straight we go, then this length there, then it should just be a 45-degree angle. We're probably gonna leave both those long. Long would be better than short, so I don't have to hook the trailer back up to the Eco and grab another sheet because I bought just the right amount. I don't really have any other use for subfloor, so I don't need that laying around. Not too shabby. We got just a little to knock off after it's all zipped down. And we officially have a floor. This is quite the addition to the new shop. I'm excited to have the extra room, and we should have the ability to move the Lost Cause Ranch office into place up here in the near future. But we got quite the view from the upper deck. The LCR penthouse suite. Sasha always finds the most comfortable spot to lay. I am really happy with this little 45-degree jet out. I think it adds a neat little element to this space. Is that comfy? It did get quite a bit darker underneath. Light, dark. Everything in the shadow is gonna be our little fabrication area. I think it's time to start rearranging. All right, so on the 944 turbo, the starter is awful slow turning. So I'm gonna go with cleaning all the connections for the power and ground first. Hopefully that's it. They kind of look a little crusty. Like every drill project, it's been sitting for a minute. Story of my life. It might need gas too. Well, I think we found the reason why it's not getting fuel. You might remember this was the original issue, but it's still here. And of course, the fuel pump itself is junk. That's swell. That's just the way she goes, it seems. I should have a pump here tomorrow if everything goes right. So in the meantime, we'll slam this guy back on and get the front of this spun around so it's a little easier to drive on out whenever it does have a fuel pump. Air, fuel, spark, missing the fuel part. I guess we're not missing it, it's just not going to the right location. All right, we are pointing in the right direction now. Just need a fuel pump so we can get the go juice back in it. In quick fashion, we have a new pump. Here's to hoping this little crimped seal doesn't leak like this one. All right, we're gonna try this again. So far it's a little better. It's staying in the tank. That's ideal. Into the land of lost causes, it can now sit. So having spare Land Rovers when you own Land Rovers is always a good idea. The Vitesse is gonna get pulled out by the LR4, little Yankee yank with the Amazon winch. Air conditioning's not all that great in that thing. Well, look at how roomy it is again in here. Nice and open. I got mine cranked. Now, if that is not a good sight, I do not know what is. How about that? For the first time, guys, LS3 Defender is in the new shop. What a welcome addition, and it is great to see this thing with a little bit of room around it. We got the Nada move to the corner. Don't you worry, we have a couple more things moving around here. Two. That's right, two that you have not seen before. Look at how nice that mezzanine sits in there now that we have a little real estate around it. Big day for the Lost Cause Ranch. Now it's time to start moving some of the tools in here. Finally getting to use this place for what it was meant for. We're back to rocking and rolling. Got a few things to take care of, and now you'll see my face at a little more regular schedule. Whether that's good or bad, we're gonna be able to get some stuff accomplished again. I am so happy right now. With that being said, appreciate you guys watching, appreciate you subscribing, and we will catch you on the next one very soon. Have a good night. That's right, I told you. I was gonna tell you where the stairs were gonna go. Right there, along that wall. It's gonna be a little Transformer style though. Stay tuned.